During the time of legal slavery, abolitionists made slavery the #1 issue when voting for candidates. Now, during legal abortion, pro-lifers want you to consider abortion the #1 issue when going to the polls. My guests today hope you'll agree with them. Shirley recently graduated from college and is interning in Washington, D.C. Andrew and Maria are raising 3 young children. Ed, a retired pilot, and Dolores, a retired nurse, have raised a family and now volunteer in their community. I joined Andrew and Maria for a day at the park to talk about the upcoming election. What issues are most important to you during this presidential election?
Well, for me, the most important issue looking at who we're going to vote for, is who I'll vote for president, is who's going to lead our country in promoting and building a culture of life. I think we live in very difficult times, especially as a young family raising children. I want them to grow up in a country that respects and values life. Whichever candidate is going to best, convince me that they're going to protect and promote a culture of life, that's definitely where I'll be, voting and supporting.
I feel the same way. I feel like, creating a society where my children's lives are treasured and are seen as precious and beautiful is really important to me, especially since our daughter Lucy was born with hydrocephalus. She's a beautiful, lovely little girl, and I want a society that values her for what she is.
Would you advocate then that abortion should be the #1 issue for a lot of voters?
I think looking at all the life issues put together, both from end-of-life issues and abortion, and the debate in our country around killing children at the embryonic stage for the sake of furthering research, I think all those issues put together really put forth how are we going to change the culture so that people themselves turn away from abortion, and how are we going to change the legislative side of culture so we can outlaw murder. So I think all those issues put together are definitely the most important issue facing us this election.
And abortion is the most important because it's the most obvious, egregious example of the culture of death. When you can see the unborn child, sometimes when they're being practically born, and then you kill that child, it's hard to turn your eyes from that. So if you can't, to me, it's like if someone doesn't understand the evil going on there, it's hard for me to trust them on other issues because they obviously don't understand the dignity of the human person.
Shirley, does it really matter what the values and morals are of the President of the United States?
It does matter, because I think that for anyone to hold a leadership position, whether it's in government or anything else, that person needs to be someone who can discern what is right and what is wrong. And if we don't pay attention to the moral character of the person, you have people like Hitler or Saddam Hussein, or people who can allow atrocities against human beings without acknowledging that we all have rights that can't be taken away.
So, do you have an opinion about embryonic stem cell research?
Yes, I do. Embryonic stem cell research is closely aligned with abortion. The reason why most pro-lifers, I would say, are also against abortion in the first trimester is because we believe that life begins at conception.
Let's talk about embryonic stem cell research. There are those who say stopping it will prevent cures for many diseases. What's your opinion about that?
I think stem cell research is a really important area for the health of our country and important research to go forward. But on the one hand, it's completely immoral to do research that takes the life of another human being or puts them at risk to achieve good ends of improving medicine, improving science. And I think the great thing currently is that we don't even need to. We've seen such tremendous advances in adult stem cell research. Stem cells that can be taken from our own bodies and then reconfigured and put back in to help cure diseases. I think it's been truly amazing.
Now, the two of you hold very strong pro-life views regarding the life issues. Do you think a majority of your peers, age group that you are now, share those values?
Our age group, I would say, but I don't know about the younger. Because, as I said, abortion was just so foreign to us. I mean, when we were growing up, someone had an abortion, that was like, oh my gosh, you never heard of such a thing. I might have heard of one time that I knew of someone that had an abortion, and that was a big deal. They, you know, they were in great jeopardy, and but today it's so normal for our children. They grew up with it. And it's not reinforced anywhere in society that life is a gift from God from the day of conception until the day you die.
Do you think many of the people your age feel the same way you do?
Apathetically, I think that they hear that it's women's right to choose. So, and they believe in the right to control your destiny, control your body. So they run with it, but I don't think they really know what abortion is.
So you think once they learn more about the issue, they'll be more pro-life?
I do. I think most people who are pro-choice, I think if you show them the development of the unborn child, if you even educate them about the history of Roe v. Wade, the case itself was a false case, the abortion industry, if you educate them on a life issue from all aspects, that they'll either become pro-life or it'll give them something to think more about the issue.
When Roe versus Wade became law, we lost respect for all life.
You've seen politics change over these last 50 years. Tell me how that has evolved.
Well, it seems to be incremental. They like to move things a little step at a time. When you started watching the TV, became very popular, the first thing they started to do was downgrade the father. He was always the fool, incompetent and like that, and it was an attack on the family. And once you break down the family, now it's like scattering the sheep, and the children aren't under the guidance that they should be under. It's led us to single-parent families, which is an imbalance. And this adds to all the problems, and it's not fair for the children and the community.
When we return, we'll talk about the issue of euthanasia, and my guests forecast the future of our nation.